Hello, Skip.
It looks like he was diving up from the water.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, I wasn't talking
you
on that
boating?
mic.
You took a boat?
No. Oh goodness. Oh, we had our 36th wedding anniversary the other day, the 21st, and Debbie gave me two wonderful little books. One by Jill Melick, who um, is the woman who wrote the Red Book Hours, which I happen to have here at my side. We interviewed her a couple of years back before she died. Unfortunately, she was, but anyway, this is the book. Whoop. Yeah, Red Book Hours by Jill Melick. And as you see, it is the size of the actual Red Book. And what it has in it is basically all the pigments and such that Jung used in creating the Red Book. Why anybody would go into that much detail, I don't know, but Jill did. And it was kind of nice. Did anybody else read it?
I saw the interview.
Yeah.
I thought you already had the book, actually.
Huh? I
I
had,
thought you already had
well,
the
I have
book.
that book, but she has another book about dreams. And that's
Oh, okay.
that's the book that I just got this week. That's a
Oh,
lovely,
okay.
lovely little book about dreams. And I had to rush home tonight, but I'll share it with you all at some point.
Well,
I've only,
congratulations.
yeah,
Congratulations.
made through 36 years. Actually, it's more like 40 years. It'll be 40 years that we've been together this January 2nd. Um, and so we were, I guess, violating the law for the first 3.5 years or whatever it was. But we had to
Well,
satisfy.
it's not against the law yet. They might make it against the law, but it's not
Well,
against the law to live together unwed.
yeah, but I was married to another woman during that
Oh,
period.
you were still married. Okay.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
it took me three and a
I,
half
I don't
years
think
to.
that's illegal either, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
it's the
not.
love that counts. It's the love that counts, Skip. That's
Yeah,
all that matters.
it
Just the
is.
love. It's all about
Yeah.
that.
So I completely forgot the anniversary because for me the anniversary is January 2nd, not
Oh no,
not
you
the
forgot. Oh,
I
you're in hot
completely forgot.
water.
No, she took it quite gently. I've reminded her of anniversaries any number of times too, so okay. But my last Friday, my principal said, "Well, we have to do an observation of you, and it needs to be next week." And then my colleague, who is the social studies teacher, the department chair, was out on Monday, so I couldn't agree with her on what the topic would be until Tuesday. And so it's going to be Friday, but I'm taking tomorrow off to get a little rest because it's been quite a push. But anyway, here we are. And chapter 2 is called Stalking the Intruder, the beginning of initiation, the beginning initiation. Intruder. Okay, and it's Bluebeard. Oh my God, yes, Bluebeard. I remember Bluebeard. Okay, are you ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Bluebeard. In a single human being, there are many other beings, all with their own values, motives, and devices. Some psychological technologies suggest we arrest these beings, count them, name them, force them into harness till they shuffle about like vanquished slaves. But to do this would halt the dance of wildish lights in the woman's eyes. It would halt her heat lightning and arrest all throwing of sparks. Rather than corrupt her natural beauty, our work is to build for all these beings a wildish countryside wherein the artists among them can make the lovers love, the healers heal. But what shall we do with those inner beings who are quite mad and those who carry out destruction without thought? Even these must be given a place, the one in which they can be contained. One entity in particular, the most deceitful and most powerful fugitive in the psyche, requires our immediate consciousness and containment, and that one is the natural predator. Okay, let's see if I have my other glasses. This is them. Yeah. Excuse me while I change cheaters here. Okay. While the cause of much human suffering can be traced to negligent fostering, there is also within the psyche naturally an innate contra naturam aspect, an against nature force. The contra naturam aspect opposes the positive. It is against development, against harmony, and against the wild. It is a derisive and murderous antagonist that is born into us, and even with the heat, or even with the best parental nurture, the intruder's sole assignment is to attempt to turn all crossroads into closed roads. This predatory potentate shows up time after time in women's dreams. It erupts in the midst of their most soulful and meaningful plans. It severs the woman from her intuitive nature. When its cutting work is done, it leaves the woman deadened in feeling frail to advance her life. Her ideas and dreams lay at her feet, drained of animation. Bluebeard is the story of such a matter. In North America, the best known Bluebeard versions are the French and the German, but I prefer this old version in which the French and the Slavic have been mingled. It is close to the one given to me by my Aunt Cathay, pronounced Katie, who lived in Seebrock near Dombovar in Hungary. Among that cadre of farm women tellers, the Bluebeard tale is begun with an anecdote about someone who knew someone who had even seen the grisly proof of Bluebeard's demise. And so we begin. Okay. Comments? before we read the story. Are you all familiar with Bluebeard?
Did I
Yeah.
read the footnote, Skip?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, this is above the predatory potentate. It says the natural predator appears in fairy tales personified as robber, animal groom, rapist, thug, and sometimes as evil woman of various stripe. Women's dream images closely follow the distribution pattern of natural predator and female protagonist fairy tales. Delirious relationships, abusive authority figures, and negative cultural prescriptions influence dream and folkloric images as much as or more so than one's own innate archetypal patterning. The latter, referred to by Jung as archetypal nodes, inherent in each person's psyche. The image properly belongs to the meeting, the life and death force motif rather than meeting the witch category.
Mhm.
And then there's one more footnote, and where is that? Oh, it's a footnote about the French and the German fairy tales that we're most used to in North America. So it says there are quite different published versions of Bluebeard and the collections of Jacob and Wilhelm Grimm. Charles Perrault, Henry Perrault, and others. There are oral versions existent throughout Asia and Mesoamerica as well. The literary Bluebeard I wrote has the peculiarity of the key that will not stop bleeding. This element is a characteristic peculiar to our family story of Bluebeard that was handed down to me from my aunt. The time she and other Magyar, French, and Belgian women were forced into a slave labor camp during World War II shapes the story I carry. Interesting. Magyar is a language that I'm not sure about the history. I was talking to friends of mine over the weekend about this. If you don't mind, I'd like to kind of share that.
Sure.
About the women I read this book with back 20 years ago and went to a Jungian study group
Mm-hmm.
For a week over 20 years ago.
Wow.
And two of the women couldn't remember it. One of them was our leader at the time. I was in a support group with women in my 20s, and the leader of the group is now 90, and she was in assisted living. And they said two of the women couldn't remember having done that. And I read just the first few pages of the introduction, and they both remembered and said, I'd love to read that book again. So just to, and the other woman that was there, her father spoke Magyar, and he was from Hungary, I think. And so there seems to have been a diaspora from Hungary, because it says here that her family were from French and Belgian women that were forced into a slave labor camp during World War II.
Yeah.
Well,
I can tell you from my postage stamp collecting days, which were back when I was between like 8 and 15, that Magyar Posta means Hungarian post. So Magyar actually means Hungarian in their native language. Oh, there's
but
a,
I didn't know it was called Magyar. It's interesting that
yeah.
it's so different than what we call Hungarian, so different.
What did you call them?
No, the language is called Magyar, and
Meg?
we say Hungarian.
Uh-huh. Um,
Magyar.
Magyar. Okay. Um,
Yeah, you just said that's what means Hungarian in their language, right?
I
Isn't that
believe
what you said?
I believe so because it was Magyar posta
Mm-hmm.
on postage stamps from Hungary that I used to collect
Uh-huh.
when I
Yeah.
was a little kid.
Yeah.
Um, I had way too many of them because they they printed a lot of postage stamps. And Angie's got a wonderful painting now.
Yeah.
Angie, did you paint
I
that?
was going to mention that. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Angie, did you paint that painting? That's a cool painting.
Sorry, I just had to pop out a minute. I did paint it, but it's not my painting. I saw it. I did it massive. It's about 4 foot large, but
Uh-huh.
it a painting that I saw on the internet that I loved, and I wanted it over my bed.
Hmm.
And I painted this 2 weeks before I started coming along to these discussion groups.
Oh, it's
Really?
beautiful. I love
Yes,
that.
before. And when we decided to do Women That Run with the Wolves, I
Uh-huh.
thought, oh, gosh, I was painting that woman and the wolf just before I started the discussion.
That is
Amazing.
that
Yeah,
is
but
amazing. Yeah.
I really can't take. I don't feel I can take the credit because it's not my painting. I did a copy of it because I loved it so much, the image, and I really wanted it for my wall. And mine is not as good as the original one, which you can see on it is beautiful. It
Uh-huh.
really is beautiful painting, the original one. But I
Yeah.
did enjoy doing it. And at the time when I did it, the wolf and the woman have both got their eyes shut,
Hmm.
asleep. And when we started Women That Run with the Wolves, I put it up as my profile picture. And I thought maybe I'll do a painting of a woman and a wolf with their eyes open when we finish this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you should follow that track.
I
Uh,
think I should.
yeah, because I mean, in the dream book, the Malik dream book, she encourages us to do what Jung had suggested, which is to keep developing a dream image,
Yeah,
or to keep going at it,
with that imaginal life.
right, and let it start to build. And I think that that's what's happening in my painting.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make anything that's commercial.
No,
I'm
that last one you done was beautiful. That last one, the really big one that you did in the summer with
uh
the round bit in the center.
yeah,
And it had well, it
the,
had, for me, it had a lot of things in it. There were
yeah,
whales and
yeah, the whale of the
beautiful. The
tail
colors were
evolution.
yeah, it was
Wait until you see
very beautiful.
how it's framed. I had it at school for about a month, and my art teacher at school just loved it. And but the problem is that I painted the entire thing, and I'm doing that again now, with fluorescent paints,
Oh
and
wow.
and it's very hard to get the essence of the fluorescence in a photograph to print.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I've got it in for
Mm.
framing now, and so the printer is going to try to photograph it.
Mhm.
But what I imagine I will have to do is embellish it. This is what Colleen did for me
Mhm.
with her painting called "A Red Ribbon Runs Through It," because
Well, that might be fun doing that, embellishing it like that. It might be actually fun to
yeah,
add
yeah,
that other layer in.
yeah, layer it in. So
Mm.
I'm thinking about well, I want to try it and see how it
Yeah.
works out, you know. But I have 2 large copies, prints ordered, plus I think
Oh,
4
wow.
9x12s and 6 8x10s
Wow.
of it.
Wow.
So let's see how they come out.
So last week, Mary suggested doing a painting for each chapter, and I've been thinking about that actually this week. I thought
Cool.
it's been quite busy this week, but I definitely will. I think I'll try to do something to get the flow of the story, even if it's just something little.
Yeah, by all means. But the framing that I'm getting, it's like white, it's like off-white linen to the edge,
Oh,
which is gold, and
oh,
then the outside frame is, I mean, that's the matting, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
then the actual frame is a very complex filigree, gold filigree.
It's lovely. That's
And
really going to go with that because it's quite delicate. The patterning
right,
itself, that would go with
yeah,
filigree. Gosh, that's lovely.
yeah.
Forward to seeing that.
Let me see if I have a picture of the. I I I have a painting from the top impressionist of Maryland, who I've bought 6 paintings from over the years, and let's see if I can. And it's on my wall, so I photographed it so I could say, this is what I want
So they've
for,
got virtual walls now that you can take a photo of your artwork
right.
and you can put it onto a virtual wall. Apparently, a
Yep,
lot of artists do this when they sell their work so
yep,
that
yep, yep,
people can imagine it in their front room, what it would look like.
yep, that's right. Um, but I mean, this actually is on my wall. Wait a minute, I gotta figure out where it is here. So anyway, it's I asked her to frame it like this, and she said, "Oh yeah, oh here it is. I got it now." Okay, so this is what it looks like, but I got to get to my share. There we go. Okay, so that's a painting. Um,
That's lovely.
yeah,
Oh.
John painted this plein air
Oh,
down in Mississippi. I don't know, about 15 years ago. His name is John Ebersberger.
is that
And
oil or acrylic, Skip? Is it
oh,
oil
it's
or
oil. Oh, it's oil.
oil?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's very persnickety about that.
Oh.
And the lady in the picture is his main squeeze. And somebody said, "Where? I don't see a lady in this picture."
Mm.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
I can
it,
see that.
huh?
I can see the lady. What is she? A squeeze? Did you call her a squeeze?
Yeah,
What's that
his
mean?
OAO, his main girl.
Oh, it's
Uh,
his girlfriend. Okay.
she's an artist too.
Okay.
She's an artist too. And but by the way, Sherry Loveler, who is uh, who is one of the performers from our play that we did in Montana in 22, um, has published a new book of poetry and paintings. And the first book that she published was really beautiful. I haven't yet ordered the new one, but
I might check it out.
huh?
I might check it out.
Yeah, it's
Right?
yeah, what's it called? Art and something.
What was her surname? Skip? Sherry?
Loveler, Lovler. No E,
I'll check it out. I
no
like
E in between.
right,
Sherry Lovelair, and
poetry.
it's a mind-boggling. Her first book was mind-boggling. I gave about 30 copies away for Christmas a few years ago,
Oh,
and I'm expecting the new one to be every bit as fantastic. But anyway, this painting, I'm not talking about the painting here. I'm talking about the framing.
yeah.
Yeah, so this is what I'm intending to be on the Whale of a Tale.
Yeah.
And it was in a black frame for the month that it was over at the school because I just wanted to cover it with glass so that it would be protected. So I bought a cheap frame to protect it.
Yeah.
But the black frame just cut it off.
Yeah.
But I think that this type of frame, this isn't exactly the design, I don't think.
No, but
No.
it's rough. Yeah.
But
So you had metallic paints in that painting, I think. Did it have metallic paints in it?
yes.
Yeah, so this would
And
look quite nice with that, I think.
yeah, that's what I think too. I mean, this I got shine from the oil painting
Yeah.
and but let's see where I am here. Yeah, so this is the one you're talking about, I think. Isn't it? No, this is the new one I'm working on. I'm sorry, this is the new one I'm working on.
Okay, this has got the neons in it. I see. Has this got the neon?
Yeah, it's the same deal. It's got I mean, I think this is the latest photograph of it. Or
Okay.
maybe
Right.
not. I hadn't named it. I couldn't think of a name for it. And then here I think I've finally captured the name. And I'm going to call it the 6 million-year-old man. And
Okay, gosh.
can you see the man, the ghostly man in the center?
Yes, I saw it a minute ago.
Here's his nose, and
Oh yeah,
he
gosh. Oh
has various pupils
yeah,
depending on how you focus on it.
yeah, I can see him.
And so there's hair
Yeah.
here, and this is all fluorescent paint also. So again, this you see what the photograph does. It'll pick up some of the fluorescence, but not all of it. And that's the issue with using fluorescent paint. However, I
Yeah.
love it. I love using
Yeah.
the fluorescent paint, and so I'm doing it more. Let's see.
Oh, she's a very clear character in that picture.
What, the guy in the middle?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then here's just for fun. This is one of Tim's dancing world paintings. He just does such nice work. And whoops, wait a minute. I wanted to see if I can go back and find the whale of the tail, or the tail of the whale, whatever it is. It's back here. Okay. Is it this one?
Well,
No, it isn't. But I'll show you this one because something very unique happened to me. I gave this print to one of my fellow teachers, and I had given the original of this painting to my second in age grandson. And I was staring at this painting across the room, and suddenly I saw a sitting Buddha. in this. I'm not seeing it now, but if you're at a certain distance from this painting, this sitting Buddha emerges. I mean, or here you can sort of see a head looking backward that's split open with light going up out of it. And these are the shoulders. That's one way of looking at it. But that isn't, I don't think that's what I saw.
Gosh, yeah, I can see a character sitting in the middle there, right
Yeah.
in the. You can see it.
So you are seeing something.
Yeah, whatever it is, I can see that character sitting in the middle.
Yeah. And for some reason, I had the idea that it was a Buddha, but you have to be kind of farther away than this from it to see it.
Yeah.
Um,
You can see it better further away.
huh?
I could see a Mohican. Looked a bit like a Mohawk.
Yeah, here's Whale of a Tail. You can see it.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Right.
Yeah.
With the whale and the baby whale and
Whale of a tail or tail of a whale. Very different meaning there.
Yeah, it's tail of a whale evolution. Okay, so this is from a whale's point of view, looking at what caused evolution. And my thinking is that on the right side here is like the shallows where we crawled out of the sea. We literally crawled out of the sea. And so we must have been attracted to the light. And so this is a view from the bottom of the ocean, lying on your back on the sea bottom, looking up through the water column at the light, right? With the whale there and baby
But
whale.
whales went back into the water, didn't they? They were mammals.
Yes,
Lived that, and then they've gone back into the water because they've still got that vestigial tail.
Yeah, they might be the first mammals, in fact.
Yeah.
It's hard to know.
Yeah.
Because somehow legs had to be developed and stuff before we could crawl out. But anyway, that's that. Okay, let's read Bluebeard to the extent we can. It's a long story, I think. Okay, there is a hank of beard which is kept at the convent of the White Nuns in the far mountains. How it came to the convent, no one knows. Some say it was the nuns who buried what was left of his body, for no one else would touch it. Why the nuns would keep such a relic is unknown, but it is true. My friend's friend has seen it with her own eyes. She says the beard is blue, indigo colored to be exact. It is as blue as the dark ice in the lake, as blue as the shadow of the hole at night. This beard was once worn by one who they say was a failed magician, a giant man with an eye for women, a man known by the name of Bluebeard. 'Twas said he courted 3 sisters at the same time, but they were frightened of his beard with its odd blue cast, and so they hid when he called. In an effort to convince them of his congeniality, he invited them on an outing in the forest. He arrived leading horses arrayed in bells and crimson ribbons. He set the sisters and their mother upon the horses, and off they cantered into the forest. There they had a most wonderful day riding, and their dogs ran beside and ahead. Later they stopped beneath the giant tree, and Bluebeard regaled them with stories and fed them dainty treats. The sisters began to think, well, perhaps this man Bluebeard is not so bad after all. They returned home all a chatter about how interesting the day had been, and did they not have a good time? Yet the two older sisters' suspicions and fears returned, and they vowed not to see Bluebeard again. But the youngest sister thought if a man could be that charming, then perhaps he was not so bad. The more she talked to herself, the less awful he seemed, and also the less blue his beard. So when Bluebeard asked her for her hand in marriage, she accepted. She had given his proposal great thought and felt she was to marry a very elegant man. Marry they did, and after rode off to his castle in the woods. I have to take these glasses off to see this. One day he came to her and said, I must go away for a time. Invite your family here if you like. You may ride in the woods, charge the cooks to set a feast. You may do anything you like, anything your heart desires. In fact, here is my key ring of keys. You may open any and every door in the storerooms, the money rooms, any door in the castle, but this little tiny key, the one with the scroll work on top, do not use. His bride replied, Yes, I will do as you ask. It all sounds very fine. So go, my dear husband, and do not have a worry, and come back soon. And so off he rode, and she stayed. Her sisters came to visit, and they were, as all souls are, very curious about what the master had said was to be done while he was away. The young wife gaily told them. He said we may do anything we desire and enter any room we wish except one, but I don't know which one it is. Well, wait a minute, I gotta let somebody in here. It's Mela. Okay. So Mela, we're reading about Bluebeard and Bluebeard. But I don't know which one.
What chapter is it on?
We're in chapter 2. It's
okay.
Chapter 2. It's the Bluebeard story. So I'm on page 41. So reading on. He said we may do anything we desire and enter any room we wish except one, but I don't know which one it is. I just have a key and I don't know which door it fits. The sisters decided to make a game of finding which key fit which door. The castle was 3 stories high, with 100 doors in each wing, and as there were many keys on the ring, they crept from door to door, having an immensely good time throwing open each door. Behind one door were the kitchen stores, behind another the money stores. All manner of holdings were behind the doors, and everything seemed more wonderful all the time. At last, having seen all these marvels, they came finally to the cellar, and at the end of the corridor, a blank wall. They puzzled over the last key, the one with the little scroll work. The little scroll work on top. Maybe this key doesn't fit anything at all. As they said this, they heard an old sound. They peeked around the corner, and lo and behold, there was a small door just closing. When they tried to open it again, it was firmly locked. One cried, Sister, sister, bring your key. Surely this is the door for that mysterious little key. Without a thought, one of the sisters put the key in the door and turned it. The lock scolded. The door swung open, but it was so dark inside they could not see. Sister, sister, bring a candle. So a candle was lit and held into the room, and all three women screamed at once. For in the room was a mire of blood, and the blackened bones of corpses were flung about, and skulls were stacked in corners like pyramids of apples. They slammed the door shut, took the key out of the lock, and leaned against one another, gasping, breaths heaving. My God, my God. The wife looked down at the key and saw it was stained with blood. Horrified, she used the skirt of her gown to wipe it clean, but the blood prevailed. Oh no, she cried. Each sister took the tiny key in her hands and tried to make it as it once was, but the blood remained. The wife hid the tiny key in her pocket and ran to the cook's kitchen. When she arrived, her white dress was stained red with from pocket to hem, for the key was slowly weeping drops of dark red blood. She ordered the cook, quick, give me some horsehair. She scoured the key, but it would not stop bleeding. Drop after drop of pure red blood issued from the tiny key. She took the key outdoors, and from the oven she pressed ashes onto it and scrubbed some more. She held it she held it to the heat to sear it. She laid cobweb over it to staunch the flow, but nothing could make the weeping blood subside. Oh, what am I to do? She cried. I know. I'll put the little key away. I'll put it in the wardrobe. I'll close the door. This is a bad dream. All will be straight. All will be aright. And this she did do. Her husband came home the very next morning, and he strode into the castle calling for his wife. Well, how was it while I was away? It was very fine, sir. And how are my storerooms? He rumbled. Very fine, sir. And how are the money rooms? He growled. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm losing it. Somebody else is going to have to read from that. We're at the top of page 43.
I don't think I can read. It's really noisy here with the rain. I don't know. I don't think you'd be able to hear me.
No, we're not hearing it. We're not hearing the rain. We're only hearing your voice.
I can read if you can hear me. Okay. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Well, how was it while I was away? It was very fine, sir. And how are my storerooms? He rumbled. Very fine, sir. How are my money rooms? He growled. The money rooms are very fine also, sir. So everything is good, wife. Yes, everything is good. Well, he whispered, then you'd best return my keys. Within a glance, he saw a key was missing. Where is the smallest key? I lost it. Yes, I lost it. I was out riding and the key fell down. I must have lost a key. What have you done with it, woman? I don't remember. Don't lie to me. Tell me what you did with that key. He put his hand to her face as if to caress her cheek, but instead seized her hair. You infidel, he snarled, and threw her to the floor. You've been into the room, haven't you? He threw open her wardrobe, and the little key on the top shelf had blood red down all the beautiful silks of her gowns hanging there. Now it's your turn, my lady, he screamed, and dragged her down the hall and into the cellar till they were before the terrible door. Bluebeard merely looked at the door with his fiery eyes. The door opened for him. There lay the skeletons of all his previous wives. And now, he roared. But she caught hold of the door frame and would not let go. She pleaded for her life. Please, please, allow me to compose myself and prepare for my death. Give me but a quarter hour before you take my life, so that I can make my peace with God. All right, he snarled. You have but a quarter of an hour, but be ready. The wife raced up the stairs to her chamber and posted her sisters on the castle ramparts. She knelt to pray and instead called out to her sisters, 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 do you see our brothers coming? We see nothing, nothing on the open plains. Every few moments she cried up to the ramparts, Sisters, sisters, do you see our brothers coming? We see a whirlwind, perhaps a dust devil in the distance. Meanwhile, Bluebeard roared for his wife to come to the cellar so he could behead her. Again she called out, Sisters, sisters, do you see our brothers coming? Bluebeard shouted for his wife again and began to clomp up the stone steps. Her sisters cried out, Yes, we see them. Our brothers are here, and they have just entered the castle. Bluebeard strode down the hall towards his wife's chamber. I'm coming to get you, he bellowed. His footfalls were dense. The rocks in the hallway came loose. The sand from the mortar poured onto the floor. As Bluebeard lumbered into her chamber with his hands outstretched to seize her, her brothers on horseback galloped down the castle hallway and charged into her room as well. There they routed Bluebeard out onto the parapet. There and then, with swords, they advanced upon him, striking and slashing, cutting and whipping, beating Bluebeard down to the ground, killing him at last, and leaving for the buzzards his blood and gristle. That's it. Is Skip gone to sleep? I think Skip's nodded off, has he? Shall I carry on with
no.
I think are you there, Skip?
No.
Are you there?
Yeah.
We just finished Bluebeard. I think you must have been you slept through his slaughter.
Yeah. You lost me for a bit, but I'm here now.
Okay. So Bluebeard got slaughtered by the wife's brothers came to her rescue and slaughtered him.
Oh, they slaughtered him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The wife's brothers slaughtered Bluebeard. They came in just as he was going to get her, and they slaughtered him. Shall I carry on with her analysis of the story?
Yeah.
Yeah, by all means.
Right, the natural predator of the psyche. Developing a relationship with the wildest nature is an essential part of a woman's individuation. In order to accomplish this, a woman must go into the dark, but at the same time, she must not be irreparably trapped, captured, or killed on her way there or back. The Bluebeard story is about that captor, the dark man who inhabits all women's psyches, the innate predator. He is a specific and incontrovertible force which must be memorized and restrained. To restrain the natural predator of the psyche, it is necessary for women to remain in possession of all their instinctual powers. Some of these are insight, intuition, endurance, tenacious loving, keen sensing, far vision, acute hearing, singing over the dead, intuitive healing, and tending to their own creative fires. In psychological interpretation, we call on all aspects of the fairy tale to represent the drama within a single woman's psyche. Bluebeard represents a deeply reclusive complex which lurks at the edge of all women's lives, watching, waiting for an opportunity to oppose her. Although it may symbolize itself similarly or differently in men's psyche, it is the ancient and contemporary foe of both genders. So you've got it there as well, Skip. It's not just us women.
Yeah, no, I know that. Okay.
It is difficult to completely comprehend the Bluebeardian force, for it is innate, meaning indigenous to all humans from birth forward, and in that sense is without conscious origin. Yet I believe we have a hint of how its nature developed in the pre-conscious of humans. For in the story, Bluebeard is called a fouled magician. In this occupation is related to figures in other fairy tales, which also portray the malignant predator of the psyche as a rather normative looking but immeasurably destructive mage. Using this description as an archetypal shard, we compare it to what we know of fouled sorcery or fouled spiritual power in mytho-history. The Greek Icarus flew too so close to the sun, and his waxen wings melted, catapulting him to earth. The Zuni myth, The Boy and the Eagle, tells of a boy who would have become a member of the Eagle Kingdom, but for thinking he could break the rules of death. As he soared through the sky, his borrowed eagle coat was torn from him, and he fell to his doom. In Christian myth, Lucifer claimed equally with Yahweh and was driven down to the underworld. In folklore, there are any number of sorcerers' apprentices who foolishly dared to venture beyond their actual skill levels by attempting to contravene nature. They were punished by injury and cataclysm. As we examine these leitmotifs, we see the predators in them desire superiority and power over others. They carry a kind of psychological inflation, wherein the entity wishes to be loftier than, as big as, and equal to the ineffable, which traditionally distributes and controls the mysterious forces of nature, including the systems of life and death, and the rules of human nature, and so forth. In myth and story, we find that the consequence for an entity attempting to break, bend, or alter the operating mode of the ineffable is to be chastened, either by having to endure diminished ability in the world of mystery and magic, such as apprentices who are no longer allowed to practice, or lonely exiles from the lands of the gods, or a similar loss of grace and power through bumbling, crippling, or death. If we can understand the Bluebeard as being the internal representative of the entire myth of such an outcast, we may then also be able to comprehend the deep and inexplicable loneliness which sometimes washes over him or us, because he experiences a continual exile from redemption. The problem posed in the Bluebeard tale is that rather than empowering the light of the young feminine forces of the psyche, he is instead filled with hatred and desires to kill the lights of the psyche. It is not hard to imagine that in such a malignant formation there is trapped one who once wished for surpassing light and fell from grace because of it. We can understand why thereafter the exiled one maintains a heartless pursuit of the light of others. We can imagine that it hopes that if it could gather enough souls to itself, it could make a blaze of light that would finally rescind its darkness and repair its loneliness. So this is a little bit like narcissist complex, I think,
Yeah, sure.
and your you've got that deep wound and trying to find the light from others.
Walt Disney had it in Fantasia before 1940. You want to see it?
Oh, the Sorcerer's Apprentice.
Yeah.
Sorcerer's Apprentice, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to share it with you. I have it on my screen. It's 3 minutes.
And I can certainly relate to experiences, especially when I was younger, where I thought I could do it, quite arrogant. I've been very arrogant in my life.
Haven't we all? Okay, I have to get the sound up.
Yeah. How old is this? 1940s. 1940s.
About that. This was one of his first movies.
Mm,
Well, I remember being so scared when I saw this.
yeah.
Me too. Is the song on? I can't hear it.
I'm sorry, you can't see it?
Oh
We
no,
can
I
Hear
can't
it. We
see
can't hear it.
the
Wait a minute. How can I make it so you can hear it? I have to unplug here. And let's try that. Can you hear it now?
No.
It's not like it has dialogue, so it's just the song, right?
That beautiful piece of music.
Can you hear the music?
I can't even remember the
It's
rest.
symphony. I think it's
Oh, we've got it.
There we go.
yeah.
No. I don't hear it. Do you hear it?
I did
No.
a minute ago.
Yeah, just briefly.
Oh no. Yeah, we just briefly heard it there, Skip, and it's disappeared.
Yeah.
I don't think Skip hears us.
I
Do you
don't
hear
think
us,
Skip can
Skip?
hear us.
Didn't-
Can you hear us,
He
Skip?
hears it. He
No, he's
hears
hears
it.
music. He's put the music on. I wonder if I'll send him a message in the chat.
Ava, can you tell him what to do? You've had this problem before, Ava.
We keep getting snatches of it.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got it now.
No, I can't. He doesn't
Now I
seem
can.
he can't hear us.
No,
Skip can't.
no, because he hears the music.
Yeah,
Yes.
yes.
He made it so he could hear.
I find that Bluebeard story really,
It's okay.
really,
Yeah, go
it
ahead.
really is scary on a deep level. I can really feel that story. You know, I'm thinking, go on, when he's
Sorry, Angie, are
enticing
you
us.
saying something?
Yeah, you can't
Oh,
hear
wait a
us.
minute, I
Yes.
can't hear you.
You, he's switching back on.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'm going to have to play that music now when we come offline. We couldn't hear the music, Skip, but I don't think you could hear us. No, we can't.
He still can't.
Can't hear you now.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you. No sound.
That's why, because I had the
Oh,
mic
that's-
off.
Now
Right.
we've got you.
Let me back it up a little bit because I definitely hear it. So
Yeah.
let me just. Are you hearing that now?
Now I can hear. Yes.
It goes in and out. It goes in and out, Skip.
Yes. Yes. I think it is because of the noise cancelling. The
Okay, yeah. It might be noise cancelling background. Can't even remember who wrote the piece of music now. I'm going to check it out. Yeah, I was just saying that Bluebeard story. It makes me, as soon as you start to read it, I'm thinking, God, go back with your other sisters. Don't You know, you can really feel it. You know, I think most, if not all women have met Bluebeard at some point. We've all met, you know, we've all had that experience.
It's it's in the unconscious.
Yeah,
Unconscious.
yeah, yeah.
And it comes out in dreams.
Yeah. It comes out in dreams. And we bring
And
it
some people
up.
actually confront it in their real lives.
This is the part one.
That was part one.
Yes.
Has anybody else had it in their everyday life?
Pardon?
I've definitely had it. Encounters with Bluebeard in their everyday life, not just in dreams.
I had some man that was stalking me.
Yeah.
And because I had a dog, a Russian wolfhound, he left me alone and he raped the woman that lived above me.
Oh, geez. Wow. Well, I guess we have new news out about Prince Andrew just today.
Gosh.
I
mean, I know they've taken his royal title away, haven't they?
Yeah, but this woman's book has come out now, the woman who committed suicide.
Oh, yeah.
And apparently it reveals somebody who's a prime minister somewhere. I don't know who that would be yet, but all kinds of nefarious bluebeards out there.
Yes.
Yeah, they are Bluebeards. They are Bluebeards.
Pardon?
And who did you encounter, Angie? Who did you encounter in your life?
A man that was very nice, but all of my instincts were telling me no one's that nice. I ignored them because it seemed like a nice, you know, I thought, oh, that would be a nice life to settle down with somebody like that. You know, the promise of a nice life, I suppose, was the carrot for me.
Yeah, sure.
And then as soon as I even lived with the person for a little while, and then as soon as I got married, everything changed overnight. Everything changed overnight. And he changed into Bluebeard. Once I was his wife, I belonged to him. And it was very... But really, when I think about it now, looking back, it was all there from the beginning. But I was just drawn into the dream. the shiny carriage, you know, the promise of a life that could be comfortable, like the Sorcerer's Apprentice, wanting to not have to carry the buckets of water, wanting the easy life. You know, I'm talking about
the character in this, the woman, the youngest sister in this, in this Bluebeard story, the same thing, exactly.
Yeah. I'm gonna ask if we can stop reading now, because we have a lot more to go. But I do want to talk about this issue because obviously these things happen all the time. And my sister went through 3 marriages, and it was always the same deal. And
some women maybe are prone to predatory. Well, to me, as we were reading it, I thought, gosh, this seems like classic narcissistic kind of behavior that you would use, you know, learn from a psychology book with Bluebeard. You know, so it could be something to do with, you know, looking at that split in the psyche.
Right.
I suppose for me, I met Bluebeard when I was very young. as a child,
Mm.
and he came in a frock, and there presented himself as one of the priests,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
in between to God,
yeah.
and but I fought him, and I never forgot it. I punched him, and
Yeah.
that that told me I learned such a vital lesson through that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was so aware of it, even I remember going back to the place where it happened. It was in one of those institutions in Ireland. And my younger sister, there was she wanted to go to a youth club at that place. And I didn't want her to go, but she was insisting on going, so I went with her. And then I thought, I told him this was when I was about 15, the same character. And I was leaving Ireland to come to England, and I thought, oh, and he tried it on again. And but this time, what I was really worried about was a lot of the children that were at the youth club were disabled, and they
Oh.
couldn't speak and they couldn't act, you know. And so I went to this place that was responsible for that area, and I reported him. And
Mm-hmm.
they told me to shut my mouth because I would never be believed. And
Mm.
I thought to myself, these are all bloody bluebirds, really, you know. But what they were doing was some of these children were mute as well, and cerebral palsy and, different kind.
Oh,
And I
God.
thought, "Oh, these kind of people, they go into these arenas, you know, and so when you come across those kind of bluebirds, you never forget them. They can come in all shapes and sizes and guises, and present themselves as, even if you're not looking for anything, you're just there
Uh,
to participate in something, you
Yeah.
know.
Do
Well,
you
I,
think
Shocking.
women have got their instincts are so finely honed that they can feel it coming, and some
Yeah,
haven't got it so much?
I suppose in a
Well,
sense, if it's so
we've
young.
lost it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, we were born with these instincts. It's the society that causes us. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what this book is about.
Yeah.
This is what the whole book is about.
Yeah. The society lets it get by. And of course, in the United States right now, we have this Jeffrey Epstein file that is ultimately going to be released. And the young woman who committed suicide but wrote this book she did comment on Andrew, Prince Andrew, or Andrew. I guess he's going to be drummed out of the Corps, so they're not even going to allow him to be called Prince anymore. Um, but he was one of the main ones apparently, and I suspect that our president was one as well. And and I suspect once the wound is opened up, we're going to find out that it was 100 men or hundreds of men, and it'll be many, many very senior
Powerful people.
yeah, horrible people, but who are either in Congress or they're in the courts or they're all over the place. I think it's going to be a bloody mess, but and I'm sure that's one of the reasons why they're letting it be hidden so far, but it seems that they're not going to be able to hold it off forever, that ultimately it will all out.
And it's
And
time for that as well.
yeah,
It's
it's time for it. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think they're grooming J.D. Vance to take over as president in the United States. Um, they as soon as they've had enough of Trump, um, they'll push him aside and take over, 25th Amendment style. They won't bother with another trial, uh, another. I doubt if they'll try another impeachment. They'll simply remove him under the 25th Amendment of the Constitution.
And what do you mean, the 25th Amendment?
25th Amendment
What is
allows the vice president and a majority of the cabinet to remove the president. I can read it to you.
So has more stuff come out today in America then?
Yeah.
Get married.
No,
No,
not. Yeah, I think we're a bit far away from that, Skip. Don't you?
What, removal of the president?
Yes, at this point.
No, I don't think we're far from it.
Really?
I think they're conniving to do it. Section 4 of the 25th Amendment of the Constitution reads, whenever the vice president and a majority of either the principal officers of the executive department or of such other body as Congress may by law provide, transmit to the president pro tem of the Senate and the Speaker of the House of Representatives their written declaration that the president is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office, the vice president shall immediately assume the powers and duties of the office as acting president. Thereafter, when the president transmits to the president pro tem of the Senate and the Speaker of the House his written declaration that no inability exists, he shall resume the powers and duties of his office unless the vice president and a majority of either the principal officers of the executive department or of such other body as Congress may by law provide, transmit within 4 days to the president pro tem of the Senate and Speaker of the House their written declaration that the president is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office. Thereupon, Congress shall decide the issue, assembling within 48 hours for the purpose, if not in session. If the Congress within 21 days after receipt of the latter written declaration, or if Congress is not in session within 21 days after Congress is required to assemble, determines by 2/3 vote of both houses that the president is unable to discharge the powers and duties of his office, the vice president shall continue to discharge the same as acting president. Otherwise, the president shall resume the powers and duties of his office.
Wow.
And so why do you think that we're at this point now?
I think
Just
that
intuition?
Huh?
Or is it just your intuition?
It's more than intuition. I mean, you watch Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance in their behavior lately. They're licking their chops. They want a piece of the action that Trump is taking. And I don't know if all of you outside the United States know, but in the last week, the president has destroyed half of the White House.
Yes, I know.
The
I've
whole
heard about that.
the whole east side of the White House has been ripped off. literally ripped off, and he wants this ballroom put in there. And so something is going to have to be built, but the image that you may have had of the White House doesn't exist anymore. It's gone. I mean, not half of the White House, but I'd say about a third of it on the east end of it, including the East Room, the famous East Room, and all those, and the area that used to belong to the first ladies.
Is he allowed to do that just on his own decision making? Is it not listed building or something that he can?
I don't think he
Yeah,
does,
building
but I don't think he it is allowed to. But you know, since the Supreme Court said he's allowed to do anything he wants to do, he gets away with all this crap.
Okay.
Oh.
I mean,
And he gets removed, then the vice president gets the job, and then if the vice president gets the job, then Kamala Harris is next.
well, no, not exactly. After the vice president, it's the Speaker of the House,
How sad.
Johnson.
Mirtz is showing you.
Yeah,
It's
there
so
it is.
sad.
There's a picture of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just.
What about the fact that J.D. Vance is in Israel at the moment?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's not good.
Do you think that's part of it?
Yeah.
Do you think that's part of it?
Yeah. I think he's.
I don't know why. I don't know why Trump allowed him to go.
I don't know. I mean, Trump's trying to protect himself by having his son-in-law and his I don't know,
Daughter.
Secretary of Commerce or something, the guy who
His
has been
his
doing
daughter
it.
was there too.
Oh, was she?
They're broke.
Yes.
They're just broke, and they're looking for any chance to snag a penny. They're so freaking broke. I wish there was like a return to sender label. Wherever he's from, please return to sender.
Well, he now wants $230 million from the taxpayers for all the legal defense he's had to undergo. I don't think he's entitled to that, but God knows I don't know what's going to happen. And
But isn't it a bit curious that the Epstein files, and also the fact that, because there's been some discussion over here that there may be some blackmail going on, because the fact that why did Andrew not ever reveal? Now they're saying he needs to reveal everything that was going on. What had Epstein got a hold of on Andrew and Sarah Ferguson? You know what?
Yeah.
You know what, Mary? You know what I always felt? This is what my instincts told me. Andrew is taking the can for Prince Charles. I think Prince Charles is a paedophile because he was brought up by Mountbatten, who was a paedophile. It was just normal. They had young boyfriends and young kids, and it was normal in that family. And I think Prince Charles was best friends with Jimmy Savile. They were best friends.
Oh yeah.
And another high-ranking member of the Church of England that was imprisoned because he was a paedophile. So I think Prince Andrew may be the cover. I think he might be the fall guy for Prince Charles. That's what
Well, it may be. It may be. In order to save the monarchy, you think?
Yeah, possibly. Because I couldn't work out when Jimmy Savile, it all came out about Jimmy Savile. He was so close to the royal family, Jimmy Savile. I couldn't work out how it never got questioned, how it never came up as a conversation.
Yeah, that's bizarre. Okay.
The rich different kind of life. Gosh.
Yeah. Well,
I'm
But
so glad that you brought that
yeah.
up, Angie, about the pedophilia, because I cannot find that anywhere in the DSM-5 or in the ISD. I can't find anywhere pedophilia as being a psychiatric illness. It's so weird.
No, because that's the outcome of the behavior. So aberrant sexual behavior in itself is not really a problem. People have got the freedom to choose whatever they want to do with another consenting person. But when it's somebody that's like a vulnerable adult or a minor, then it's not consenting. So there's nothing
yes.
wrong with, like, you can do what you like. You can make love swinging from lampshades, whatever, does it for you.
Right.
But so usually people that have got, they usually got other problems, There's usually
Surely.
quite often, and I'm not making up an excuse or anything here, but they've usually been subjected to something quite horrific themselves when they were,
Yeah.
growing up and things. And
But Angie, Epstein had a meeting with Tony Blair in 10 Downing Street as
God,
well.
Oh
Tony
boy.
Blair is the last. He's so untrustworthy. The man is a lizard. He's a lizard. Tony Blair is the Viceroy of
Oh,
Palestine.
and Mandelson.
He is a Bluebeard because he's got such a golden voice, Tony Blair. He's got really good communication skills. He's got charisma. They are
Mhm.
Bluebeards. And, they're really difficult to spot when they turn on the charm. These
Oh,
people
geez.
can pull out all the plugs and
Well, I'm glad I'm not suspected because I'm post prostate cancer and I'm 79 years old. So. And I have been with the same woman for 30 or actually 40 years now. So
Oh.
But what's the deal with this Tony Blair guy? Because it's like, they were actually friends, him and this Epstein guy, or
No,
because
I don't know.
everybody
How
didn't.
did he get a meeting? That's the question. How the hell did he get a meeting in 10 Downing Street with Tony Blair?
they've
good
all got their hands
question.
in each other's pockets, haven't they? They've all got their hands in each other's pockets. They're all, I think sometimes these people that we look at, like Trump and Keir Starmer's and all these, they're actually just puppets, and they're actually another layer of powerful people behind them that we've
Oh
never.
yeah. Oh yeah. That's
Mm.
definitely true.
Yeah, and that's not kind of coming at it like a conspiracy thing. It's just about the distribution of power.
Yeah,
And
it's the way it is. Yeah, they used to call well, now they call it the deep state, but they used to call it when I was in college, the establishment.
yeah,
And
yeah.
and
Elite. I always just
yeah,
thought some kind of elite class.
yeah,
Most people, we don't see them.
and it goes back to the Rothschilds and all their
Yes,
friends.
totally. Yeah,
That goes back into the 19th century at least.
yeah.
I mean, if you read the book Anarchy by William Dalrymple, he's a wonderful writer. You ought to read The Golden Road.
This is the Indian man, the man that wrote about India, yeah?
Yes, and
Anarchy.
right. And so the book Anarchy is about the East India Company. Okay.
Oh.
And so the British Raj really wasn't about, for example, the British Army. It was a private company that was allowed to have its own army. And they basically stole trillions of dollars worth of diamonds and other precious gems from the Indians. And you know, it's widely known that the crown itself has the Kohinoor diamond, which is the largest diamond ever.
Yeah, you're right. It has got that down.
Yeah.
Isn't that in one of the Queen, the royal crown, that one that's in the Tower of London? I think
Right. It's in the crown, and it was actually cut down by the Prince of Wales during I think during Victoria's reign. And so it's actually not as large as it was when they found it, but it's still the largest diamond in the world. And it's right square in the center of the crown.
Have you ever seen the list of famous paintings that are all missing since the Second World War and nobody knows where they are? There's loads of them. I was looking through an art book and it's got Van Gogh, all these paintings that are just since the Second World War. Nobody knows where they are. Now, are people that have got those paintings, paintings that we know exist, but nobody knows where they are.
Yeah.
So
it's
a whole layer to this world that we aren't part of that. And yeah, I go through the world feeling comfortable, like I'm at ease, like as if I'm safe. But actually, we're surrounded by bluebeards. And we need to switch our instincts back on a little bit, maybe. I need to paint a wolf with the eyes open.
Or God help us, yes. Well, anyway, it's going to be a fascinating time. And I suppose it's going to start coming out around Christmas time, because usually when they want to hide something,
yeah, you're right,
they hide it until the holidays when everybody's focused on their families. And then they let the stuff come out.
On that disasters, that's when we usually have things come out, when there's a natural disaster.
So Diane, you don't think that this is happening? I mean,
oh no, I think it could happen, but I don't see that immediacy. But you're right. There's so much we don't see. There's so much we don't see.
And this destruction of the White House,
and the people who are really in control are the central banks.
Yeah,
what I understand.
Sure, absolutely.
And Switzerland, and Basel, Switzerland.
Right.
100%. That was what made me think of the paintings, because I visited Switzerland for a research trip, and I went to a couple of people's houses, and I walked in a room with a painting in there, and I thought, my God, I'm pretty sure that's a fake. That's on the missing painting list. And I walked out of the room again, and I thought, Switzerland, so much was taken from Germany at the end of the Second World War and shifted into Switzerland. They walked from Germany, a lot of those people, and brought stuff over.
And we will not ever know who they are, because they're above the law.
They are above the law.
They are above the law.
Yeah.
Money can buy anything.
Yeah, but the mistake Trump is making now is by destroying half of the White House, which is an extremely important symbol for the American people. I think he's probably offended plenty of Republicans, as well as
well, I hope so. I mean, he seems to have them all wrapped around his little finger. That's the way it looks.
I mean, that's the appearance that's out there, but I have a feeling that there are people that are starting to not be happy.
From
really
our
not happy.
It looks like he's fantastic, because he looks like he's brought about peace in the Middle East. He's trying to bring about peace in Ukraine. So from this side of the pond, Trump looks like some kind of like hero.
Well, he hasn't
Mm.
brought peace in the Middle East. Are you kidding? Come on. You can't believe
No,
that.
I think that maybe I'm wondering if that's why Vance is there now. I mean, they look really cozy with Netanyahu.
I'll give you
Yeah, but
if you stop killing people.
yeah, I mean they just do anything they want to do, but you know, Netanyahu has done such genocide to the Palestinian people now, horrible genocide,
I
that
know.
that he has created an ongoing war for generations. I used to say two
Oh,
generations,
yes.
but now it's never going to end. And you know, even now they're having problems with this stopping of the fighting now. But you know, just wait. I mean, you know, just all you have to do is read Jung's Women in Europe article, which is in volume 10 of the collected works, Civilization and Transition. And he basically predicts World War II. He's just that the women were regenerating a new generation of young men to fight in the German army. That's why the 20 years between the two wars, or 30, is it 30 years? No,
It's called Women in Europe.
it's called Women in Europe, yeah.
Okay.
And
And that's the thing, how all of this is intertwined with this Andrew guy and that Tony Blair guy.
yeah, I mean it really is. And
All of this started with Harvey Weinstein. It all started because of Miramax.
well, I mean that's where it started to unravel maybe, but
Yeah.
that wasn't the start. That was only the beginning
Yeah.
of it.
Yeah, that's where it started to unravel. That's exactly where it began to just this tsunami of allegations and scandals. And
Yeah.
I mean, you know, everybody knows someone that's got literal skeletons in their closet.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
Bluebeards.
Yeah.
Bluebeard.
I hope I'm not one of them.
Bluebeard.
Oh God, but I mean, just what the church did is just awful. And
Well, you know, in Ireland, they at the moment you probably haven't heard about it over in America or even in the UK, but there has been a group of survivors outside the door on hunger strike,
oh
right?
yeah,
They've been over 25 days now,
wow,
and for a pension because they were slaves to the Irish state and to the church. And these people, you know, they're actually on the hunger strike, and the government has sent a psychiatrist along to them,
hmm
right? Instead of saying, give them a pension for God's sake. You know,
yeah,
they were slaves as children, but no, they send a psychiatrist. And somebody said, why don't you put a hearse there? Because that will be the first thing that they'll be going in, you know, not even an ambulance. The corruption that's within governments is just, it's
yeah.
terrible.
Well,
It's all coming out.
Yeah.
so maybe there will be some bad things that happen, and which will be good for our species eventually. You know,
Yes, that's my only
yeah,
that's a thin thread that it's also a thin thread of our psyche that we could possibly, enough people to become conscious
Yeah. I mean,
to
Diane, does Sharif agree with me that there's going to be bloodshed?
oh, you mean in Palestine?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
I've got something positive that happened this week, and I thought it was a really big thing, actually.
what?
Good. Let's hear something positive.
And a little bit magical as well. So there's a whole popular theoretical approach that's being used by psychotherapists, I would say in the US as well as UK, because the main chap that developed this approach is from the US. His name is Richard Schwartz, and it's called Internal Family Systems, and it's been the big
Yes,
approach.
yes.
He
Mhm.
came out last
Yes.
week, and he's been doing lots of training. You can join the, institute. You can use this approach. And it's really, really helpful for people, because I've had a little try of it myself. He made a statement last week. He's done a YouTube video saying that he's done so much. He's been using this approach now for years, working with people's different parts, getting them to find the different parts of them and bring them into like a self, something a bit whole.
Mhm.
He said that he cannot ignore that some of the parts that he's come into contact with over the years, he thinks that there's something outside of the person, the individual, like something collective. And I
Oh,
listened to him talking, and I thought he's talking about the pleroma. I thought he's talking about something.
Well, or he's talking about the collective unconscious, which,
Well, this is a very unscientific remark. This is
yeah,
why really a lot of Jungian ideas don't get into the mainstream.
yeah.
So he took a big chance to make this statement. And what he was saying was that he couldn't ignore it anymore. He felt that people had access. He wasn't calling it their spirit or soul, but what he was saying, he felt that it was something bigger than just what he could put down to a psychological part within that individual persona. It was
Yeah.
like they were drawing on something outside of themselves. And I thought, gosh, that is a big stepping stone for somebody that big to come out and make that. He's put his career and his whole approach on the line, really, for the establishment to come at him and say, don't use that approach anymore. It's not. But I thought that was, I really liked that happened. I thought that was a
What's
the right
the name of the
direction.
YouTube?
So I'll see
Can
if
you
I
give
can
me the
find
name
link
of the
to
YouTube?
it. So if you just put in Richard Schwartz parts,
Yeah.
something about, I don't know, parts outside of ourselves, or new idea, or something like that, you'll get it come up. But I'll bring the link next week anyway, just in case you don't find it. But he's actually doing trainings to help people to get into touch with this as well. And this is really a big thing for anyone working in a therapeutic field, to just acknowledge that there might be something outside, almost like, it's almost like borderline channeling, or, like shamanic.
Yeah, it's
And
I'm
it's not
finding it
something
very easily
very
on.
medical. Is it coming up?
Oh
You
yeah.
found it?
It's
Oh yeah.
anti-medical model, it goes
This
against the medical model.
internal family systems and
And we want,
spirituality of the internal family systems.
okay, yeah. So what he's doing is he's turning it into like a spiritual approach.
Yeah.
And I thought, my gosh, this is becoming like one of the dominant approaches that's being used.
Well, I've heard him before, on YouTube's.
Yeah,
So, but
befriending your inner parts.
Yeah. What was you going to say, Diane? You've heard him before. Did you hear him ever mention anything?
Yes. I think there was some hinting at it.
Okay.
He was with two other people, though.
Okay.
I'll see if I can find what I found too.
Okay.
But
you think he might have chosen the
mean,
right moment to come out and say it?
well, I think that, there's something akin to the self that Jung talks about.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
yes,
That
he's being promoted by Sounds True, which is the catalog that
yes.
was based on Jungian psychology all along. For
Mhm.
I don't know, like 40 years or something like that. This is it used to be a big catalog outfit, but now it's all online, I think. But I used to listen to their stuff all the time back
yeah.
when it was on tape.
Well, I just thought, there's a lot of therapists now using this internal family systems. And they like Richard Schwartz. I've spoken to a lot of people,
Yeah,
supervisors, and over time that, draw on his ideas. And I thought, gosh, this is bringing something quite spiritual into mainstream
right. And
therapy, which is really,
Jung was afraid of that, he uh not because it's wrong, but he was afraid of it because of his own stuff,
yeah,
because he was the son of a Swiss Reformed pastor and
okay,
a long
yeah,
line of Swiss Reformed
yeah,
pastors.
yeah, yeah,
So, and so in the middle of the 20th century, he didn't dare even talk about this stuff, but he certainly hinted at it. And
yeah.
and so I'm not surprised to hear that somebody is
What
starting to
Naya
take it.
saying that
Yeah.
maybe he's been hinting at it for a while,
Yeah.
and yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm still quite shocked that he's done that because I thought, that's taking a chance. He's
Yeah.
taking a big
Well,
chance.
I mean,
Yes.
there was always the issue of possibly turning Jungian psychology into a religion,
Yeah,
and and
yeah, it can become like a cult then. It's
oh yeah, oh yeah, and Jung didn't like that. I mean, Jung himself did not like even the Jung institutes starting
Well,
up.
we read about this last week. Do you remember when we read about the four rabbinim, and there was like that idea of when you go into church into like remember we were talking about speaking in tongues.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You can very easily go down that path of
Boy, I have seen it all over the world.
yeah,
I think I told you about Singapore, where was crazy.
yeah,
They had a big circus tent. And they had 5,000 people in that circus tent every
yeah,
Sunday, and I think almost every day they were doing things. But I was taken to one on a Sunday, and I go, "Holy smokes!" And
oh gosh,
The
and
holy rollers. Are they
yeah,
the holy rollers?
I mean, literally, they were doing the wave,
Yeah.
and I felt myself being taken away by it.
yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
but I could see
got
Oh,
that
yeah.
how people could really get
yeah,
psyched by it.
yeah.
Because I felt it in one go. I said, "Whoa, I got to stay away from this stuff." But
I was
they,
looking for where she was talking about the multiple personalities that we have within us.
yeah,
And it's not just that there are two personalities like Jung, personality number one, personality, but all of these archetypes that exist within us. It's just a whole panoply.
right,
That's, all the fairy tales, all the myths,
Yeah.
everything's,
yeah,
all those archetypes can become predators.
yeah,
The
definitely,
the bet the negative side of all the archetypes, they all have negative sides.
sure,
And it is an inflation. It's a sort of inflation. It's all,
yeah,
narcissism is an inflation, you
Yeah.
know.
yeah. I mean,
So
Get sucked into it and become ungrounded almost, like start living out these stories, almost like getting sucked, losing your own
oh,
individuality and
very
getting
easily.
sucked
yes,
into that archetypal kind, because it's a
Yeah,
very
that's
oh
what all these people that get sucked into cults, what happens to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you know what it reminds
Yes.
me of? You know, like the story of somebody going into the forest and eating fairy food, and then they come out 30 years later.
Mhm.
I can relate to that. You
Yeah.
know, I've gone into things, and you know, 5 years ago passed, and I think, gosh, I can't believe where's the last? I've been sucked into that for the last 5 years.
Mhm.
You've eaten the fairy food.
Oh yeah.
This one reminded me,
So,
this story reminded me of something very dark. It reminded me of a play. It's called Oh Dad, Poor Dad, Mom's Hung You in the Closet and I'm Feeling So Sad. And basically, the play is about this young man and his father is deceased. And so he and his mother, they go on vacation to the Caribbean. They go on a little cruise ship. I think it was like to Cuba, and then they go around to other little islands. And she's lugging around these huge trunks,
Yeah.
like those big suitcases, the trunks. So she's lugging those around, and she has these bellboys carrying, and then one day he meets this young woman and she's kind of like just off the street and falls in love with her, and she goes into the mother's suite and she is obsessed with her style. She has all this fancy like showgirl kind of clothing, and she immerses herself into the outfits and tries everything on. And then all of a sudden, this mummy falls down in the closet, from the corner of the closet, and he goes into the room and he's like, "What's that thud?" And he looks and he sees this huge, kind of stuffed human, and it's his father. And he starts freaking out. So then he throws her out of the place, but then she starts hollering out the window, and it's just really crazy. It's such a crazy story because obviously because of how letting go can be very difficult for some people, or accepting change can be very difficult for some people. But not only that, but also most importantly, just like that need for control,
Mm.
to because the mother was very controlling, and that's why in the story he falls for this young woman who is selling something off the street, and he has no social life because she's so controlling. And I guess this is sort of like symbolism, a
the
very
terrible mother. It's the terrible mother archetype.
Yeah.
yeah, yes, the very dark, disturbed mother who has wounds that are not healed.
Yeah.
Well,
Why?
listen, guys, this is my time for my meditation on the beach, or I
Yeah.
will miss it.
You
So,
have to go. Yeah.
yeah, so
And
bye.
I really
It's-
need to go too. So,
Right,
but
see you
I
on
do want to
next week.
say that I am genuinely shocked that this man has destroyed a third of the White House.
I just found
I
out.
I cannot imagine how he's getting away with that. I mean, that is a
that hadn't been on all the news channels, has it? Even
huh?
CNN.
What about it?
It has not been on all the news channels.
Well, it's been on MSNBC. We saw it last
I
night.
mean, today it has
Oh,
now, but I mean the work up to the coming of it.
oh, I
You
see.
know,
I see.
if we had known that before this no King's Day parades, what do
Yeah,
you think would have happened?
yeah.
You know,
I think
they
that,
kept it pretty secret
well,
to,
it's
I
archetypal,
in
and it'll.
Nashville if I was Donald Trump.
Well, I'll tell you
I gotta
what.
go.
Yeah,
Bye.
we'll
See you
have to
later.
see what the results are. There are going to be ramifications from it. It's non-trivial, and it's such an important symbol. It would be like destroying one of the faces on Mount Rushmore so that they could put Trump onto that.
I'm just checking it out now. He hasn't even paid for this himself. There's private donators that he
Yeah,
doesn't have to reveal who they are. Donors are paying for 200 million project, this
right.
transformation of the East Wing.
For a ballroom. Well, okay, fine. That's all well and good, but
Is he allowed to have private sources of money coming in without declaring where he gets his money from?
traditionally, no. I mean, traditionally, that would have been anathema to anybody.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you know, the traditional thing is, you know, you would put your wallet into a safe deposit box or put it, you know, with
Yeah.
people who keep such things in trust accounts.
Yeah.
And
So we're in it's a very funny time in history. We've got individuals now whose personal wealth is larger than small countries.
yeah,
That's the first time in history that's ever happened, Skip.
yeah,
So we've now got individuals that are more powerful than countries, and you know, they're all racing to be like these trillionaires. There's only about a handful of them. I think there's about 10 people now
yeah,
that that really they're like a country on their own. They're powerful individuals.
yeah,
And we've never
yeah.
had that as humans.
Yeah,
We've
we've turned over our space program to Elon Musk.
yeah.
I don't know how that happened, but by God,
Unbelievable that one individual. So it's like yeah, we've not actually been in this time since feudal times, I don't think. If
yeah,
ever,
that's
don't
right.
think
That's right. I
yeah.
mean, you know, obviously Richard the First or Richard the Second, whoever it was that led
Yeah,
the Crusades, he got
yeah,
a lot of people to do crazy things for
yeah.
hundreds of years, right?
They had absolute power.
Yeah,
They had absolute power.
yeah,
Anyway, let's crack on. And a great
yeah,
story tonight, Beard.
yeah. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
cute.
I'll be thinking about
Well,
it all
let's
week,
think
actually.
about it next week, and hopefully I'll be past my big crunch here and can
Yeah,
get
good
some
luck on
sleep.
Friday. Is that
Yeah,
Friday?
yeah, it's
Yeah,
Friday morning, first thing.
yeah.
So,
I'll be sending some nice vibes.
yeah, thank you.
All right.
Peace. Yeah, it'll be it'll be 9:25 to 10:30 on
Your
Eastern
time.
Standard Time. Yeah,
Okay.
or Eastern Time, and whether it's standard, I don't know. Yeah, I guess it'll be daylight time still, but anyway.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what I was late. What will
Oh,
happen?
my principal came to me last Friday and said that I have to be observed as a teacher, and
Oh,
and in our special education, you know, none of us are teaching classes. We're trying to work with specific students, but we're not teaching classes. Even when we're in co-taught classes, we're just trying to back up the teacher. We're not doing, you know, doing planning. And last year, we had this idiot come in from the county, and she said, and at that time I had 4 different subjects. And she said, "Oh, well, you're supposed to be doing two plannings a week, planning lessons a week." And I said, "Well, you know, that's too much. You know, that's not possible what you're talking about.
mm,
Because I have to go to 4 classes a day in 6 different subjects over the week. And, you know, I'm not going to do 12 plans a week, you know, but anyway, I'm required at least once a year to have a formal observation where they come in and see what I'm doing or see what I don't do. I don't teach a class like that. I never do that. But I do it once a year when I have to do this observation.
Last institution I worked in 5 years ago, they used to do regular peer observations once a year if you're teaching.
Hmm.
The place that I work now, I've been there for like 5 years and I haven't had one observation, which I think is really poor practice, to be
Yeah.
honest. I think you do need some observations. And
Yeah, but I'm not the primary teacher,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're teaching a course,
Yeah, you're
right?
right. It's how I
You're
deliver it. Yeah, I've
yeah,
got to flip it and deliver it.
yeah.
Yeah,
And you're doing that all the time, and our teachers do that, right?
yeah,
But I'm a special educator, and
that's different.
Mertz
Right.
knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so we don't teach classes typically. We
No.
go in and we try to persuade our kids if we can wake them up. Now, because of pot being legalized, we can't wake them up. They're
Oh my
just they're just out. They come to school high,
gosh.
and they just conk out, and
Gosh. That's like
it's
fighting a losing battle.
well, it is a losing battle. We've lost because
Gosh.
these kids are just being allowed to do whatever they want to do,
Yeah.
and and we have no power to stop them,
No, there's nothing.
right? They get high on the bus. Now they can get vapes, which is
Got
uh,
cannabis in it.
yeah,
Can-
and they put cannabis in it, and so they vape on their school buses before they get to school, and then they're just out of it.
So,
But don't you have to be over 21
Yeah,
to be
it's not
allowed
it's
to?
not legal for them to do it,
minors.
but now because it's legalized, it's legal like liquor now. Their
I
parents
see.
their parents are all smoking, right?
So
Mm.
got access to it.
So when I was in high school, the issue was drinking, okay?
Yeah.
But we didn't drink before school or anything. I mean, I was in Japan and we could go out to bars when I was in the 10th and 11th grade, 15, 16 years old, because the Japanese couldn't figure out how old we were. And, honestly, at my college, I was the publican. I was running the Edwardian pub
I think
on
you
the
might have
on
been a bit
camp.
naughty when you was younger.
Yeah,
Scary.
well,
I've heard some of these
the
stories of
drinking
when you
age,
was
the
younger, and I
legal
think you was
drinking age,
naughty.
yeah, the legal drinking age in New York was 18 at that time. Now they've raised it to 21, but it was 18 at that time. So while I was in college, we were allowed to drink on campus.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
And
yeah.
it is 18 here in Brazil.
it's 18 in Brazil.
I think so.
Yeah. And so, but now we've got cannabis on top of it.
Yeah.
And these kids, they get a vape and they get, they're either, my kids, some of them are out selling. They come to school and they're exhausted because they've been out all night selling drugs.
Oh, that's
And they come to school and they have a big wad of cash. Unbelievable. So well, we'll see.
One kid when I was taking my son to school, one such child grabbed my buttocks on the bus and I said, "Are you kidding me? What kind of a parents do you have for you to grab an older woman's buttocks like that?"
And what did he say?
He just ignored me. I think he was high.
Oh, probably, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're having more and more problems with it now, with our
Ay, ay, ay.
caseload in our school. Not the girls mostly, but the boys definitely. It's incredible the
They
difference.
when they legalize, they know this is going to happen. They already know. And all the science fiction writers like Aldous Huxley, Brave New World is based on this, a society that pumps out soma to keep
Yeah.
people keep them all passive, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I see your lapis lazuli t-shirt there, Meritz.
Oh,
That looks
Yes.
great. What is
That's
the
yeah.
something of humanity? What is it? The
the downfall of humanity.
What's
This
that
is
about,
this is
Bert?
this is a band T-shirt. This is a band from a friend from
Oh, it's a
Sweden.
band. Okay, it's a band.
Yes.
Check them out. I want to
Yeah.
check this band out. They're a Scandinavian band,
it's,
yeah?
yeah.
I don't know if they are active because they're so many years that he sent me this T-shirt.
Okay,
Yeah.
It's
okay.
like a symphonic metal band.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, they've got a lot of these Viking kind of bands, haven't they?
Yes, I love them all.
Yeah, and some of them playing this Viking music with great big long, like,
Yes,
have you seen those? Oh, and they
folk,
dress up like,
folk, folk instruments
yeah,
connected to
they're
the
unbelievable. It's really resonating. It makes your solar plexus kind of. You can feel it in your solar plexus.
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Well,
Anyway,
that's something I have to see in my spare time. But
have a
every
lovely week. Have a
anyway,
lovely
Yeah, have a
we'll
great
see you
week.
next week. Have nice having
Yeah.
seen you here, Ava and Amela and
Yeah,
Mary and Mertz
yeah. And I love that new
Angie.
painting of Ava's, the one that she's got on her profile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking at it last week and I'm sure I can see like a deer or something. I don't know if anyone else can see that. It's like a creature in there.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't know if I'm obsessed with eyes, but I see a blue eye looking down, but it's
It looks like a creature or something. Yeah, that is. I keep looking at it. I was,
yes.
I
okay.
think you're
All right.
seeing something from
Oh
me.
no, from my own unconscious. Right. See you
Yeah.
all next week. Bye
Yep. See you
Bye
next
bye.
week.
bye.
Peace. Bye
Bye.
bye.